Okay, so now that you've seen a little bit more of the difference between innovation and invention, I am going to show you some of the pieces that you're going to use as you begin designing your toy today. Now, in Canvas, you will have some guidelines to help you out, and you will have in your Activity 3 assignment, you will have a procedure that looks something like this, exactly like this actually, and this is what you're going to be creating in your launch log. So you'll be pulling this up here in a little bit, and basically with this toy that you're creating, the only thing that you have to have, the only criteria we would call it, the only thing that absolutely has to happen in your toy is that it has to have at least one moving part. Whatever that moving part is up to you, but it has to have at least one moving part. Now, constraints. These are the things that you can't do. One constraint is that you have to make sure that you stick within the amount of time. You will have the rest of the time today in class and all of the time tomorrow in class to build your toy, but that is all. That's your time constraint. It's the only amount of time that you have. Also, you have to be able to sketch your toy before you build it, and then you will design it, and you'll talk a little bit with your group about it. You're also only allowed to use the pieces from your VEX kit. And your VEX kit is this cool thing right here. Ta-da! So you've seen these around the room probably, and they have some really cool things in them, like this, which looks like fun, and I think I've showed you this before. So we've got the controller and the brain. You will not use these pieces today. Don't try to use these pieces. Do not try to use the motors, nothing electronic. I don't want you to use that today because it'll just take too long and you won't finish when you're time constrained. What you will be using are any of the other plastic pieces. You may use the blocks, any of the gears or the plates, anything like this you may use in your toy as long as it is in the kit and it is not electronic. Let me show you a few things with this so that you understand better how to use it. This is called a beam. We have a lot of different size beams, as you can see. And these beams are used to help basically build things. You can kind of think of them as the Legos of engineering, for us at least. And you can see there's a different amount of holes in them, and there are two going this way. So we would call this a 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A 2 by 8 beam is what this would be called. You'll be required to use some of these pieces and to know the difference between them, and it's basically just about counting and looking at if there are any labels on it. There are not on these, but this is a 2 by 8 beam, and you'll get really familiar with beams and with counting them. One other cool thing about this that you might help you out is that every hole on this and every division, you can kind of see between those circles, is a ½ inch. So this, because it's 2, would be 1 inch across, and then since this is 8, that would be 4 inches across because it's 8 ½ inches. So this is 1 inch by 4 inches. It's a 2 by 8 beam. There are lots of pieces in here. Like I said, you can use anything as long as it's not mechanical. We're not looking for you to use brains and motors at this point. That'll be next. Okay? Nothing mechanical. Tell your neighbor, nothing mechanical. Don't try it. Mrs. Carter will get mad at you. Tell them. Okay, the second thing you cannot use in your pack. Do not use this or you will be sorry when you have to build your next toy. Not toy, I'm sorry. Your next project is this bag right here. Do not use the Project 3 bag. What bag are you not going to use? Say it. Project 3. Not using it. Not using it. Not going to do it. These are all the pieces for that build, so I don't want you to get them mixed up with anything else. Do not use this bag, please. Okay? Other than that, anything in the VEX kit is fair game. Now, people get really excited about these, and you should. They're awesome. They're really fun. But one thing that you need to know is that these kits cost about $500 each, and that's $500 that the corporation has invested in you because they believe that you can do awesome things with them, like I do. We have 8 of them, so if you do the math, that's $4,000. So these kits are not cheap. It's not something that you should mess around with at all. You really need to take care of the small pieces. If it doesn't fit, for example, there are some cables and things that you'll be using later on. If they don't fit, don't try to force them together, okay? There are pieces that fit everything. You just need to look for them and try to put them together. I think that's all I had to tell you about that. Just be careful with them and treat them respectfully. I know that you will, and do a good job with them. And I think now you are ready to get started in your launch logs, designing and sketching, talking with your group about the toy that you are going to build, and then you can go ahead and create your model. Make sure that it has at least one moving part.